Hello and welcome to Sebae. Today we're going to run through the process of installing Zabbix on Debian 11. We have already created a blog article on how to do this, so we're going to run through this process and get our server up and running. If you're not aware, Zabbix is a open source monitoring platform which you can use to monitor your switches and servers and have emails delivered direct to your inbox should any problems occur. So before we begin, we do need to make sure we have a Debian 11, ideally minimal install. You will need root access to the server. Your server will also need access to the internet. This is so we can download the packages, and ideally SSH should be enabled on the server as well, and this is so we can copy and paste the commands in. You can do this directly on a Linux console if you wish, however it's far easier just to do it over SSH. If you do require a test server or production server from us, we have a range of VPS servers available. For this demonstration, you would only need a VPS 1, but you can scale up as you wish to. For convenience, I have already set up a VPS, and I have already run this process. This is because it can take a while to run and depends on your internet connection speed. So let's move on to actually installing the packages. This process will just install Apache and PHP packages that were needed. So we'll run that first. I'll post links to the blog article and to our website in the description. So with that complete, let's now check Apache is running. Which it is, great. You could skip this step. This is mainly if there's an issue with Apache not running after installation, which we have seen a few times, but on this occasion it's running okay, so you can skip this. So now let's install MariaDB and the client. Again, I'll advise doing all this on a test machine first before you deploy it to production. Can we just check MariaDB is up and running? Yep, looks good. So you can run the MySQL secure script. So by default there is no root password, so we just enter none. We don't need to switch to that at the moment, so we'll just leave that as no. We don't need to change the root password as this is a test machine, so we'll leave that. So in a production, I advise removing anonymous users and also disabling root login remotely, and also removing the test databases. And once that's done, we can reload the tables. So that's MariaDB now configured. So next we need to log into MySQL. and create our database, but as we have no password, we can simply enter MySQL. Let's create our database. So we've now created a Zabbix database, and let's create a user and also give it full privileges to the database. Just remember to change your password to what you prefer. We will leave that as my password for this demo. We'll set the global log, and then we'll quit. So that's the database and user now set up. So we can move on to actually installing Zabbix. So let's grab the Debian file from their website. I would advise checking on their website what the latest version is. They do release versions quite often, but at this point in time we're on 6.3. So that's the package now installed and the repo is updated. So now we can fetch the remaining packages, which also includes the MariaDB script, which will import the schema. So let's now run that script against the against MariaDB. So as you can see here, it's using the username Zabbix and the password, my password, which we set up before. So we can just leave that as it is for now. It may take a minute or two to run. That is now complete. So next thing we need to do is edit the Zabbix config file. And we just need to update one field, which is the password. As you can see, the DB user is already populated and is the DB name. So we just save those changes. Now let's restart the services for good measure. And also start up the Zabbix agents. And that's it. We should now be able to log into the front end web interface. So we need to connect to the IP address of the server, or VPS, what you're using. So if we just copy that, open a new browser window. Now I'm on an internal training network, so I'm just going to enter in the training IP address of the server, followed by Zabbix. And here we are. This is where we finish off the setup. So be sure to change the language to what you're using. So in our case, English, UK. And as you can see, everything is good to go because we've already installed the required packages. So just click next. We just need to populate this field with our DB password. So this is my password in this case. You can call the server what you prefer. I strongly recommend calling it the same as your host name of the actual server. So in this case it's Debian training. You can change the time zone to what you prefer or where you are. Yeah, right. And that's it. So the default username is admin with a capital A, and the password is Zabbix. Strongly recommend you change the password once you're in a production environment, but for testing this is fine. So as you can see, our installation is now up and running and happy. All we need to do next is now configure Zabbix. So we will do another video on this and show you how to set up switches and servers and URLs, and also the email alerts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, please leave them below and click the subscribe button. Thanks very much.